Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OHN. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. Welcome. I'm Coach Steve Money. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. Still need to remove the Dave part from there. Have not done that yet. Need to. Answering your financial questions playlist. There's 137 of those. And today is number 482 of the Ramsey Show After Show. And in the music playlist, there's 11 Ramsey adjacent songs, such as You Belong Dead Free, You Belong Dead Free, and How to Do the Baby's Dev's Right. So enjoy those. Market report, and it was not scrolled all the way up, but if it had been, I might have noticed earlier that the market came back at the end of the day for some reason. As you can see, this is the S&P, and if you look to the far right, this is just today's trading. You can see it dropped. Everything did drop, and everything was negative, but a nice comeback at the end of the day, and I don't know why. Let's see if... No, let's see if there's a story about it. About why that happened. Notch's record close. Another high then for the S&P 500 with the late session leap. Very nice. Okay, and so, but why? Let's see if it says why. Perfect guesses. A lot of times they don't know. And they're just guessing. Let's see. Mixed on Tuesday, begin a holiday shortened week of trading with President's Day yesterday. With potential policy moves by the Federal Reserve and President Donald Trump in focus. Yep, that does affect things. Let's see, benchmark rose nearly, with most of the gains coming in the final 10 minutes of trading to hit a fresh record close. Barely in the green, that's fine. As long as it's in the green, that's better than it being in the red. And it's just dangerous to have an index in the red. Largely cautious after Monday's closure for President's Day. The future path of interest rates, right, with the Fed. So they're not even trying to guess, it looks like, as to what happened. I guess some people, they just wanted to buy. Yeah, Intel went up 16%. So did another company. Let's get rid of this. Who was it? Intel went up 16%, and Super Micro, where are they? I saw them earlier. Oh, there it is. Super Micro also went up, see, over 16% today. So if you have those in your large cap managed fund, you should be great. Intel and the Super Micro both going up over 16% today. In the most followed single stocks on the Google, only Microsoft was in the green. So you hope you have some of those that went up, and that'll balance out these that went down in that large cap fund. So yeah, 0.072%, and that is not barely, just barely. It still counts as plus, and that would be, trying to see, how is that not a... Let's look past. Oh no, let's look. That should be in the last 6 months then. Okay. So, oh, I see. So not quite a new high for NASDAQ, but pretty close. Let's see. What is that? 2053, 2041. Okay, so pretty close to for the NASDAQ as well. So not bad. Can't complain, but people still will, of course. Let's see. No articles today except this one. I saw this and thought it was interesting. Meet the wet room, the latest in luxury bathrooms. And this first one I like. It's very nice. Need a shower head somewhere, you would think. Maybe it has a spray nozzle, but I would like a shower, please. Thank you. Oh, maybe that's another. Maybe that's where you just stand right there, and it's on the side wall there. Hmm. Interesting. And this one, I don't know how I feel about it coming from the ceiling like that. Um, I don't know. Don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it looks nice. You got, places you can sit, etc., etc. And that would be the problem. I would want to sit sometimes, probably. Although probably good to stand up when you're taking a shower. Probs. Alrighty, what else do we have? And it only shows these two, and I didn't bother reading the article, so I don't know about the luxury bathroom because I'm not gonna have one. So I mean, maybe one day. You never know. Alrighty, let's take some questions. We are at reddit.com. I don't know why I always do that when I say the reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And this is not run by Ramsey Solutions like some of the people on here think it is. It's run by fans, but if you want a group actually run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be on Facebook, and it is called The Baby Steps Community. And I do sometimes get questions from there as well, especially when I run out of. I do a lot of shows, and because I used to do this one during the week, and then also a weekend show as well. That's the answering your financial questions one as well. And so sometimes I would run out of questions. Let's see. This is Good Boy Sweater Triss. Doc says I need a colonoscopy, but I don't know if I should do it financially. That's probably going to be a good idea. Let's see. After insurance out of pocket for more, you get to a certain age, you're supposed to do that. After insurance out of pocket for this is going to run me a little over $800. I have my 1K emergency fund, but is this an emergency? Doctors want you to do that if they're asking you to do that maybe a little earlier than normal. Find out if that's the case, and they may have a good reason for advising it early, even. So let's see. The GI doctor said I can also pay $200 down in 6 months of $100 a month. I mean, if you have to do that, do that. But I mean, that's only if you can put $200 down. That's only $600 more that you would owe. So how bad are your finances that you can't at least cash flow this with the payments? Let's see. Do I delay the procedure until I can afford it without the emergency fund? Edit, I see my age coming up a lot in comments, so I will say that I'm 25, 26 in a few days. That seems early, so I would ask why. So it unfortunately has nothing to do with my PCP saying I should get this done. I don't think you have to get it done. Now, I'm not a doctor at all, but I would definitely research that on the internet and ask for a specific reason why, because that seems young to me. I also see some comments saying I should have my out-of-pocket max for several years saved up aside from my baby step one emergency fund, and that's false. You do not do that. Oh, but I fell off the Ramsey wagon and made some poor financial choices. Okay, so you got a lot of stuff going on here. But yeah, 25, so you're 26 by now. It's 5 days ago. So the person's 26 by now. That seems early for needing a colonoscopy. But there could be things about you that you're primary care provider is PCP. I always love it when I know what one of those is. Um, and but I would check into that because that seems early to me, but there could be a reason. What up, Sid? What up, Aslan? Aslan says a huge shower like that is a lot of cleaning. That is true. I didn't. You don't think about that kind of stuff, really. Just like you don't think about that. When you take out $300,000 to build your business, as somebody did on the Ramsey show today. You just think, oh, of course, everything's going to work out great. Sid taking the dog for a walk. Almost said walk for a dog. Taking the dog for a walk, but listening to the show while we walk. That is so nice of you, Sid. Thank you for your support, as always. The watch demands more steps. Well, if you get that kind of watch, it's certainly going to do that, or put that kind of app on the watch. And it's better to get them outside than just pacing around the house. Sid says they could have a family history or other warning signs, Steve. And she is correct about that, and that's exactly what I was thinking of, but I didn't name individual things that it could be. So that would be good. And that's why it's good to have a co-host, because they can think of things like that. Like where I didn't see the need to go into it, or it wasn't popping into my mind, but I knew there could be some of those things. But yes, family history or other warning signs. And I did sort of say other warning signs because I said there could be something that the doctor is seeing that would prompt an early colonoscopy. Or it could just be trying to make money off of you. Don't know. Dry Pineapple 7205. I've got it backwards. Any advice? You mean the baby steps? That does happen. People misinterpret those all the time. They are right here on the side scroll here. This subreddit puts them on there. In addition to all the rules like respect the community, be constructive, be civil, and many more. And there we got the baby steps. And some of those are worded a little bit differently, but they are still all correct. I've got it backwards. Any advice? Let's see. So I've got baby step 1 and 3 covered, but step 2 is a work in progress. Okay. And so, yes, you do have it backwards, or at least you have misconstrued the meaning of the baby steps. It's step 1, save $1,000. Check, you got that done. You do not do step 3. You do not keep extra in savings beyond the $1,000 while you're paying off debt. All that money goes to paying off debt. So you're doing it wrong. And that may be what you think you're doing backwards. Let's see. Anything do to speed it up? Yes, you use all your savings above $1,000 to pay off the debt. That's how you can speed up paying off the debt. Would you borrow from step 3? You're not borrowing from step 3. You're not borrowing at all because it's all your money. But you're not borrowing from step 3 because there is no step 3 yet. You just did it wrong. And that is, a lot of that kind of stuff is what is in the How to Do the Baby Steps Right song. Shout out to The Fray, by the way, for their original song. What is it? How to Save a Life. To cross step 2 off. None of the debt has interest. Doesn't matter. Except for a student loan. Doesn't matter. That's due to be paid off in 8 months. If I pay it off now in full, there won't be a significant difference. Probably a couple of hundreds saved in interest, not more. That's a lot of typing for something that doesn't matter at all. So yeah, you did do it backwards, and I can see I can see where someone that has a bunch of savings in addition to their debt, which that's pretty normal to have. A lot of people do have that. But I could see how when they look at the baby steps, they don't take the baby steps and say, okay, this is what I should go on. They immediately compare it to their situation. They say $1,000. We got that. Step 2, pay off all debts. We're going to have to do that. Step 3, full emergency fund. And we got that already too. And so that's not how it works. So you don't do that. You use all savings above $1,000 to put towards the debt. And people do make that. Oh, same person. All right. Doesn't have a timestamp on it. Same 5 days ago. Baby step 4. Okay. And sometimes we just like to look too far ahead. One of the lines in the How to Do the Baby Steps Right song is, and don't even think about higher steps while you're doing, because 1, 2, and 3 is one at a time consecutively without even thinking about higher steps. And don't even think about higher steps. You're welcome for the bonus singing today. So baby step number 4, once you max out your IRA limit for the year, where else do you invest your savings? It's not investing your savings, it's retirement investing, I'm assuming is what you're asking about. It's kind of like savings. Is there any guidance from Dave on that? Yes, there is. I am so glad you asked about that. After your Roth, your IRA should be a Roth, and after you max that out, the advice would be if your employer has a 401k, you would be in that. Now, if they have a Roth 401k, you can do that, and you may not need a separate Roth IRA, but you can do that too. You can have both. But so say this should be a Roth IRA that you have, and then you would any of the rest of it would be go to your 401k. And if you don't have that, if there are any other tax advantage things that you can do, you could look into a health savings account. If you have a high deductible health insurance policy, you can use a HSA. And basically, you just put the max in there, and you can just leave that in there and just cash flow the medical expenses instead of taking it out of that. But beyond that, you would just put it in a regular brokerage account that you have to pay taxes on the money when you put those in there. The contributions, they would have already had taxes taken out along with everything else in your paycheck. And then you also, when you take out the money, you would also have to pay taxes on the gains. Pitiful Cup 9887. I believe it was the recent administration. Actually, probably was it Nancy Pelosi? I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, oh, you know what we should do? We should tax unrealized gains. So, which is crazy. So that's like if that's like, say, if you bought way down here, and like today, I wanted to, or I didn't sell today. So if they were taxing me today for all of this, I would have to pay taxes on all of this. And then if tomorrow it completely crashes, I would, you still have to pay taxes on that. So it's unrealized gains. So, and right now you don't have to do that. You only have to pay taxes when you take the money out. You can even sell it and change stock. As long as you keep it in the retirement account, you do not owe any taxes on it. No penalties either for just selling. And that's the way you can change out funds too if you need to. You might need to every so often. Pitiful Cup 9887. Alrighty. career advice while also paying down debt. Well, it's not to borrow $300,000 to put towards your career or to build a business. That would be a nar. Let's see. Just like the title says, currently in my paying down debt journey. Excellent. Good job to start it. Originally 52K in debt at the beginning of last year and now to 22K. Great. We'll be debt free by the end of this year. Fabulous. I made only 40K last year doing multiple different jobs. Audiovisual technician. Cool. DoorDash. Social worker. Realtor. Interesting. A lot of different experiences there. 23 man. I now currently work in the real estate world and make 2.4K monthly as a leasing specialist with opportunities for commission. All right, I have a parent loan for 7.7K, which I now owe only 1.3K on. Great. Car for 9. Family loan of 12. That's a lot of, parent loan and family loan. You're not supposed to borrow money at all, and especially not from friends or family. That was dumb as crap, so you got to fix that. I've been living way below my means, and that's what you should do until this dumb crap is paid off. Below my means and cut my expenses from 900 to 500 to 600 per month. Great. Let's see what the rest of this is. Oh, 1 for why is there a 1 there? For career, I am currently in the real estate as a leasing specialist, quality control agent, where I inspect units, but I've been viewing it as an income to pay my bills and debt. Okay. Deep down inside, I want to pursue my passion for music, but I understand that I still need to work to survive in the situation I am in, as well as hit the financial goals I want. So, pursuing the passion for music. If you have instruments already, then you can do whatever you want to with it. You can do whatever you want, except spend money on it, because all your money is being taken up now by expenses and paying off your dumb, stupid debt. So you have to wait to spend money on it. If you're talking about going to college for music or like buying equipment, anything that costs money, that waits until step 4. One of the things I love to do is to help people, and I see a huge opportunity in doing that through police work. Okay, we're going all over the place here, and I mean that may be a problem. It's great that it gives you different types of experiences, and in your low 20s is a fabulous time for that, so you can find out what you want to do, but you are kind of jumping around here, so you got to make sure that is like just going to be limited to your younger years, because just jumping around to a lot of different things, I mean, that could mean you get bored with something too easily, or as soon as you think of another thing, you want to switch again, and that may not be good in the long run. It's not necessarily focusing just on saving people's lives, but more as having a hands-on approach to helping people in one of the worst days of their life. All right. With this in mind, I also wanted to secure benefits in healthcare, since I don't get that in the real estate world, and also feel like I'm a part of something bigger than myself. Police jobs around my location start around 70K and up. Well, there's an opportunity to apply for a police job that starts at 98K per year with benefits. I understand the risk that comes along with it, sure. And that being said, this is why I feel like I'm at a crossroad. I've been in the real estate world for a year. I understand it takes time to learn and grow, and sometime being in something for a while, you'll learn to love it. Ultimately, with the ebbs and flow of real estate, there is no stability, and I am someone that thrives off stability. Plus, when listening to Dave's show, stability with income always allows continued boring, steady growth, which makes you wealthy. True. I'm at a crossroad if I should suck it up and just stick to real estate, as I have 2 bosses who are allowing me to learn, the business in every avenue, department, property management, and or try to become a police officer and utilize the money I make as an officer to put into pension, 401 retirements, and invest in real estate. Okay, you're trying to do everything all at the same time. Still, you're thinking about, you're overthinking way much, and that may be why you have jumped around from a lot of different things. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, early 20s is the time to do that stuff. But I don't know that you can try to become a police officer part time. I don't know if that's how it works. So I mean, I guess you could be a part-time police officer if they allow that, but I mean, that's up to you. If you can do real estate part-time and be a police officer, or the other part-time, if they hire part-time, I guess you can do that. Just trying to calculate moves to see. Nobody knows what the future is going to be. No, and more importantly, nobody knows if you're going to like it. And I mean, you brought up the passion for music and then didn't say anything else about it. So you got a lot of stuff going on in your brain, and you need to work with that. See what I'm going to do while also maintaining structure to hit the goals I want to achieve. The long-term goal is to be financially free while also creating and fulfilling a career with longevity. Any tips, advice, or different perspectives that I can try to look out of this situation of different perspectives that I can try to look out of this. Okay, so that's bad English. So English is out of the question for you. Just kidding. But yeah, again, you got a lot of stuff going up in your head, and the problem is, say you start being a police officer, then you're still going to think, oh, but music is my passion. Or you're going to think of even another thing that you want to do, and that's the problem. You eventually have to stop and just work. I mean, I get, if you are in a situation where it's not going to affect your income much to keep trying different things, I guess you could do that, but then you don't get the longevity that the retirement plans benefits come with, or as a result of staying in a job a long time. And you also don't get the what was the other thing I was going to think of? There was something else that you don't get with the longevity. But yeah, again, when you're young, that's when you should be trying out all different things. And I saw on an Instagram the other day that if you're 23 years old, you're a 3-year-old adult. And so, and it really should be looked at it like that way, because you're not really an adult, until you're, legally 18, but you can consider it at 20. And so this is where you're supposed to try all this stuff, and it doesn't, affect everything. Like you can't do all this kind of stuff that you're thinking about doing if you have a spouse and kids. That makes it much, much harder. And guess what? With your debt, that makes it harder now even. And so that's why it would have been better to not do the debt, and that's why the advice is the way it is. But yeah, I mean, if you just got to reconcile in your head, why am I jumping around? That would be something for you to think about. Why have I done so many different things in the past? And why am I not satisfied with just doing real estate stuff now and have to be a police officer? Is it because you just saw, it's one of the police shows. I can't think of any of the police shows. I'm only thinking about Magnum P.I. and what was the one that Shatner was in? I can't remember. But anyway, you might have thought about a show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. How about that? And that might have made you think about being a cop. And so you gotta think about that and just have a little meeting with yourself and try to figure out your brain. And if it's too difficult, there's nothing wrong with talking to a counselor about that as well, so you can work that out. Because it seems to me like you're always going to think about something. Once you get into a situation, get into a job, you're always going to think about something that you might enjoy better or that might make more money. And so you just got to be careful with doing that. But earlier in life would be a better time to do that. Let's see. As I said, they just wanted to tax the gains on non-retirement accounts. It was still just as stupid an idea, right? If your house went up in value $50,000, you could be forced to sell your house to pay the capital. Yeah, gain. Then there's also the issue of what you do if pay the tax 1 year and the next year it is a loss. Do they give you your money back? Exactly. TJ Hooker, Robert Crumb says, thank you, sir. That is the William Shatner Cop Show. Sarah here now, frequent poster here on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Need some motivation. I'm debt free, but I want to buy a house. I've been working flat out. What does that mean, kids? Is that like a lot? The last few years, 5 to 9, 7 days a week. If I get a second job, I can double my income, doubling it. Shout out Troy Story. Double my income, but the folks who work there are pure venomous snakes, and that job took a toll on me. Should I go back and save faster or continue at a snail's pace? If it was that bad, then no, don't do that. If you were being a drama queen, Sarah, and if you were, doing it like somebody says, like one thing you don't like, that doesn't make it a toxic work environment. So, and some of the kids these days definitely overreact to things, okay? So if it's as bad as it was, no, you don't. If you were being a drama queen there by your characterization of it, and it won't harm you mentally to work there, then maybe you do go back and work there. Or, hey, you can get another job that pays that same kind of thing in that same kind of field since you have experience. What was the question about? I want to buy a house. It's working flat out 5 to 9, 7 days a week. Okay. And just wants to save up more money for a house. Yeah, so you can find something else to do. You can even do something on your own. Do some side hustle type thing instead of like work for the man. You can do that as extra income while you also do your 5 to 9 job. Guidance on living trust. I don't know where to start. Can I do it myself? Probably not. I would think something like that would be very, rule heavy and so forth. And so you might want to get an expert to do that for you. Financial planner would know all about that. But some people also think about that, think that investing is like that too, and it's just not. I guess it depends on the person. And, I'm sure there's all kinds of living trust information on the internet. And so you could possibly learn all about that just like you can investing. So that's going to depend on each person and how actually difficult that it is. And of course, different people are going to think different things are difficult. RoboFlag 1993, need advice. Ever since I paid off all my debts, I feel like, for me, I've lost the work ethic that I once had. Has anyone experienced this, and how did you get it back? Baby step 3 flare there. Yeah, I never lost it. I never lost it. I did not work a second job for baby step 2. But then when I got on baby step 3, I did think, oh, I'm just sitting around the house watching shows and playing video games. I could use some of that time to work extra instead. So I did end up working another 20 to 25 hours a week in addition to my full time job fixing computers. And I did that, and that made my baby step 3 go a lot faster. And since it was a great combination with my computer repair job, which it was mostly sitting or standing a little bit. Sometimes you got to stand to get inside computers. But most of it was it was pretty relaxed, and so I could do a demanding job. I worked at Menards, which is a big hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot. I did that in the morning for 4.5, 5 hours, and then went straight to my other job. So the two of them worked out great. So I didn't see any need to stop doing that, and I didn't stop. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I stopped eventually. I got a little tired of it, I guess, and so stopped doing it eventually. But I did like where I did that pretty fast, like probably within the first year of it. I got the full emergency fund, and then I worked there another 4 years. So yeah, but eventually did stop that, and so I never lost the work ethic. I don't have any problem doing the work, and work is how you get money, and money is how you accomplish these baby steps, which continues to be a goal until you're on step 7, and it's still a goal. I mean, it's still something to do on step 7 is that you stay in step 7. So that still takes work. What up? Simply flat out like a lizard drinking. Oh, it just means really busy. Okay, thank you, Aslan. Simply what up? What up? What up? See this hashtag blast. Excellent. Simply got a big snowstorm coming. Simply, it was 6 degrees overnight in Ohio last night. And fortunately, we only got about 2 or 3 inches total. A little bit more coming, but I think we're over that now. And it's going to slowly warm up. What is it? Yeah, it is 16 degrees right now. So in the teens is better than not in the teens, in the aughts, I guess. But it is going to be high 20s again on Friday. So it's going to be a slow ramp up on temperature. Sid expecting another Arctic blast in the bayou tonight and tomorrow. Just below freezing, though. Yeah, I mean, it's all relative, though. It's all relative. If you're used to higher temperatures, even just below freezing feels very much like freezing. College student. Excuse me. Please give me advice. I already know Dave would disapprove of me. Well, then you're doing it wrong then, and so do it Dave's way. So, but it sounds like you don't want to do Dave's advice. Let's just see. A 19-year-old sophomore in college. I just opened a Roth IRA last year. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. You would just pile up cash until you graduated college debt-free. So you wouldn't be putting money into that. You would be using that instead of taking out student loans, for example. Also, kids need money for other things, cars, to move out of mommy and daddy's house. And you start investing when you get your big boy or big girl job after you graduate debt-free would be the thing. And I've invested $500 so far, but everybody wants to start early because it's true, the earlier you start, the more money you make, but that doesn't help you if you have this $500, say you needed that to get that out, you would have to pay a penalty for that. Currently paying for college, great. $2,500 a semester out of pocket, fabulous. Okay, this person might, if you got it definitely where you can pay for everything and you have enough savings to do what you need to do as far as car and moving out of parents' house, then that's fine. Let's see. Oh, about 11,000 deep in student loans at the moment. Right. And so the idea is not to pay those off quickly when you're still trying to go to college. The idea is that you do pay the minimums, but you also are cash flowing college at that point. And the cash flowing college may keep you from paying off the debt faster, but there's no need to pay off student loans more than the minimum payments while also having to take out new loans. So that's the deal on that. And that will be doubled by the time I graduate. Yeah. Why? $2,500 out of pocket. Is there more stuff that's coming, or is that just from the interest? Double by the time I graduate. I'm working while in school. Right. And so that's why you don't open a Roth IRA yet. If you got 500 in there so far, it's no problem. I guess I wouldn't have a problem with you opening it and just to get used to see, so you can see how the stock market works, etc., how it all works. I mean, if that was a much smaller amount, but you put it in there now, so you don't take it out, because there's be a penalty on it. So you don't take it out to pay off debt, but so you shouldn't be putting any more in there. And Dave would disapprove of your debt for sure, but you trying to do something about it, Dave would approve of that. And that will be doubled by the time I graduate. I'm working while doing school, fabulous, but it's private university. You can transfer to a not private university. How about that? And that'll make it cheaper. So I get paid $10 an hour. I work on all my vacations whenever I'm needed. My plan is to attend graduate school for physical therapy, more money, but I fear that I will have to take a gap year in order to catch up. Yep, you might. My parents aren't really knowledgeable in this area, so I would love any help or advice that you have for me. Yep, you might have to. Yep, you work. You work and you save up enough for that in cash, and you also should be putting some money to this extra money to the student loans as well. So, yeah. The mistakes Dave does disapprove of, but he approves of you trying to make it better. And again, you can't do everything all at the same time. And, I understand the plan for graduate school. How about you graduate college first, do your 4 years first, and then reassess and find out what's going on then. But there's no problem with working extra and taking the gap year to save up more money. So you would have more money in place in case you do decide that graduate school is the right thing to do. But I would graduate college first. Do your 4 years. Yes, I do look over eventually. I do need to try to do that more until I move my monitor here so I can see the chat easier. 1 to 3 inches for simply. Others said 12 to 17 inches, they don't know. That's correct. That's quite a discrepancy there between those two. Well, just below freezing is freezing. You right, Sid. But it might feel like really, really, really freezing. That might feel like more like 0 Fahrenheit to somebody that's used to warm temperatures. It's cold enough where Aslan is. It's only been outside to get more wood since Sunday. White beans and rice with leftover Valentine's ham for dinner. Yummy. Yeah, Aslan, I saw the weather report in advance. And I thought, let's see, the aughts and the teens. Let's see how I can run my life so that I don't have to leave this apartment until Friday when it's going to be in the high 20s. And actually, I don't have to there, but I do have a lovely Great Clips coupon that expires on Friday. So I will probably go and do that and venture out into the high 20s temperature. But I did that, and that's what I try to do. I try to work my life to best to be as, I mean, it's okay if it's a little bit inconvenient. Like, for example, I never, ever, ever take cash out at the grocery store because you got to pay them money to do that. So instead, if I know I'm going to need cash, I go to my bank where I can take it out for free. So you got to be intentional with more things than the budget. Can I buy an $899K house? This one, they do change. Pitiful Cup 9887. They do change order sometimes, so it will be in the same day, but sometimes they change order. I do not know why, even though you sort by new. Let's see if I did read this one, but a 900. That's not the one I clicked on, is it? Is that? Um. Oh, this is it. Never mind. And a locked post cannot be, new comments cannot be posted. 34. It must have gotten contentious in there. Can I buy an $899 house? Yeah, I don't know how I clicked. Must have clicked on this page too, maybe. Can I buy a $899K house with 5% down, about 80K down, 6,600 a month mortgage? So for 6,600 a month mortgage, my friend, I'm sure people in the chat have already done the math in their head, but I can't stream and do head math at the same time usually. Let's see, what do we got? 6,600. 6,600. Times 12, which is 79,200, times how do I do that? Hold on. Let me see if Sid did it already. 80K is more than 5% of 9,900K. Yes, but should they with the, well, let's see, combined household income, that would help me out a great deal. Combined household income of 425, bring in 15 to 20K per month. So that's going to be, no, that's going to be like 40 something, 40% of income. So per Ramsey advice, you could not. Will a bank let you do that? Yeah, banks let people take out more money than they should all the time. So yeah, at most 20K combined, still, that's not, that's still going to be way over 15% of your, 25% of your take-home pay. So that's a NAR. High yield savings account, 49K. You can take that out and put that with the 80K down, unless that's including that. The personal investments, same thing. If they are not in retirement accounts, which it doesn't look like because those are listed separately, take that out and throw that. That's how you see. This is how you do this in a high cost of living area, or if you want to buy a really, really, really expensive house like 900K. And I don't care if you're in California; that's your fault for being in California. So, but 900K is a lot of house. And if you want to be able to do that, you have to put more down to get the mortgage payment down so that it's closer to 25% of your take-home pay. Checking savings, 38K. That seems like that's too much. Well, if it's savings, if it's emergency fund too, that's fine. But in the 401K, we would not change. We would not take anything out of that. And the car, 17K. See, that's you wouldn't buy a house if you're following Ramsey's rules. The Ramsey rules, like the Gibbs rules. The baby steps, if you're following the Ramsey advice, you would have that car paid off already. Oh, and you already have a 390K planning to sell, will pocket about 60K, and so that too would go towards that down payment. All of that goes to the down payment, and then maybe that would put you a lot closer to that 25% of your take-home pay is what your mortgage payment should be, no more than. All right, figured it out eventually. 100K, right. I don't know how those numbers work though. Right, from what I just went by what he said their monthly take home is, and the monthly take home said it wasn't enough. So you do have investing coming out of that, which that shouldn't happen either. So they're doing it wrong. They're doing it all wrong. So the per Ramsey, this would be a no because you're doing it all wrong already. So you wouldn't be having a car loan, for example, and investing at the same time. But that is so incredibly normal of you. Congratulations for being normal. I say sarcastically, Sadog. 210. Move or not to move because we're broke. Hello, friends. Hi, guys. It seems that my husband has made a post in this group about moving from Minnesota to Texas. Interesting. It seems that. Did she just find it without knowing about it in advance? That is nutty. People are nutty. We have established this. It also seems that he does not get the gist of the situation. Okay. All right. So maybe this, I was thinking maybe we did this one before, but maybe it was his. I'm 23, lady, a woman. Husband is 24, man, and child, 1 year old. Husband might be a man and a child at the same time, too, possibly. But their child is 1 year old. Okay. We live in the country around central Minnesota. Shout out Maddie Bags. Hashtag mention. I've started as a stay-at-home parent for my child first year, and then we switch, and I have been currently working a full-time job for the last 5 months. I take a 3-hour commute round trip to work, not advised, twice a week at minimum, with the possibility of 5 days a week if my supervisors say so. Now, this is a whole nother conversation, a whole nother, not a word that I'm aware of abuse of power that I can't fight against nor will talk about right now. Yeah, I mean, if that's what the work people say that you need to do, you can fix it by not working there. That's about it. Um, let's see. Make around 72,000 pre-tax, but take home 4,000 a month. All in which barely covers all of our expenses. As my husband post has stated, we have lots of pets. That can be resolved. Can it? The reals issue is I am mentally incapable of handling my job position due to poor management, long drives, and no pathway for field / growth. Minor detail is my job description had suddenly been edited so that is not the original job description I was going into. Okay, well that is a problem, but I don't know really how you're going to fix it. Unless you're in a union, maybe you could talk to them, but otherwise you would have to sue them probably. You can ask about it first and see if you can get things changed just for you, even if they're going to change that job description in the future. Let's see, I'm career / passion driven, and this position does not support neither other than income. Okay. Another large factor is I'm on a 6-month probation, and that ends in mid-March. Okay, that's not that much further than now. Even 5 days ago. I want to save myself from termination, meaning time is not on my side. If you think you're going to be fired, start looking for another job right now. The idea of moving to Texas is that moving to Texas is a goal. Okay, there are little to no job opportunity here in the country where we currently live in the county. That will pay enough to support our minimum monthly expenses. I'm looking for a new job anyway. Great. My arguments were broke anyways. Are we going to be broke where we currently are? That is little to no job opportunity. Be broke in Dallas, Texas with the opportunity to get city jobs. That's probably going to be higher cost of living as well, though. The plan for our current house. I didn't know it was going to be. I should have known with the. It seems that my husband posted this. I should have known with that. The plan for our current house when we moved was to build a hobby farm and small side businesses, but we can't even afford to. Yeah. You just a lot of dumb stuff going on here. My husband posted, he stated we're in debt. Yes, about 12K. Yeah. So, you can't be doing things out of the box besides working, pretty much. Tired of that. Tired that I have to take an hour round trip to the grocery store. Yeah, indeed, sure, get it. I get it. And I think for the other one person, I said I think you can move if it makes sense. If you don't go there and continue to have bad thoughts about, oh, we're going to do this and this and this and this, and do that instead of paying off your debt and working your butt off. Do we move now or later? That's up to you to decide. I don't have to do it. So the problem is you do have a job now that you don't like and that you don't see any future in, but that is bringing in money now, and you have debt, and you would also have to save up to move, unless you already have that saved secretly without telling us. Can one of us or both of us get a job that pays enough in Minnesota? I don't know. You would know that more than me. And how about you look for one instead of asking on Reddit? The urgent question is, can I resign from my job before my probation ends? If you get another job, go ahead, knock yourself out. I believe there is high possibility of termination. Okay, great. Bad management, history of bad management, and high turnover rate in that company. Go get another job, and then you can resign. But you stay there until you get another job. Read my husband's post for more or other information. I don't want to. I don't know what his user is, but you'll know when you read about Minnesota and Texas. Yeah, I do remember that one. Dave Ramsey would probably be disappointed in me, but I value my mental and physical health. Share your 2 cents. Nobody's making you work there. You do have to work somewhere. And the amount of money that you make does affect your life. So that's up to you. But I think for the way the husband explained it, I think I was pretty much the same thing as like you have to look at it and see if it makes sense. I probably said something like, stay there long enough so you can make enough money to pay for the move. And also look into the higher cost of living in Dallas, Texas. People don't think about stuff like that all the time. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, where are we? You can make bad choices in any state in the country. That much is certain. It's a free country, and none of the things she asked to do are illegal. That's true. She can do whatever she wants to do. And normally I preface it or add to it. Have the little coda on there that is if you want to follow the Ramsey advice. If you don't want to follow the Ramsey advice and you just want regular people to comment, that will happen in this subreddit as well. Non-Ramsey believing people will tell you to do other stuff, for sure. But probably you should just work with your husband to find out what the best thing to do is and the timing of it as well. Paying toward the car is stressful. For context, I was on baby step 3. I took some of my extra money and put a down payment on a car loan. For context, I was on baby step 3. But then I decided to get a car loan instead. So instead of putting the money towards the full emergency fund, which it should be, you got a car loan. Why would you do that? I have a few grand I can throw at the car from step 3, but going back to step 1 stresses me out. Then don't take out a loan. I would still owe $9,000 on the car if I did this. My interest rate is low. Should I just keep saving and pay off the car in a lump sum in a few months? Oh my gosh. Jordan. I feel like for me, this would make things less stressful in case something major came up. Okay, so what you can do is to fix the bad thing that you did, and that was to get that car loan. So what you would do is you would sell it for as much as you can, and then you would take whatever money you have, you would add to that to get, if you're underwater on it already, you would put that towards paying that off immediately so that you can sell it. You put that with the amount somebody will buy it for, and that way you can get rid of that loan and then you can sell that car. And then you get a very cheap car for yourself, which is what you should have done in the first place. So you don't want to be stressed? Hey, got a great idea. Stop having your own, making decisions on your own like this. And follow the proven things that work. You were doing the baby steps for a reason. If you go back to that reason, you might find that was, because I did dumb stuff like that before and did have debt, and then getting back into it would not be logical to me, and also wasn't a good idea apparently if you're going to be stressful about it. So, again, free country. You can take out car loans if you want. That is not the Ramsey advice to do. And you're stressful about something that you purposefully chose to do. Guess whose fault that is? Yours. So yeah, you can sell it. Or you can be back in baby step 2 and pay it off. And the extra time that it takes to finish the baby steps, that's on you. The extra time it takes to finish baby step 3, that is impacted by you having to go back down to steps 1 or 2. That's how steps work. Got a relapse. They did, said. You are correct. Miserable second, 551. A lot of people don't get it the first time. You would think, though, if it stressed them out the first time, I guess they might have forgotten what the stress is like after being debt-free for a little while. Maybe they forgot what the stress was like, and now they see the stress again. So hopefully a relapse doesn't have to happen again for them to decide to, oh, I'm not ever going to do this down payment thing, this loan thing again, because it's stressful for me. It's not good for me. Miserable second, 551. I have a home equity loan now. What should I do? Well, you pay that bad boy off. Oh, Hi guys, I'm 39 man with 2 kids, which I have week on, week off. Recently divorced and took out a fixed home equity loan to settle finances with my ex. Not advised. It was a 20-year term at 6.75 for 96K. It is 1 year old now, and I made minimum payments of $722 per month, bringing the remaining balance to $93,000. I'm looking for a good plan on where to allocate my money each month after bills are paid and food is bought. Here are my financials. Mortgage, $1,350, 25 years left. Hey, guess what? Maybe you moved down in house. Maybe you can't afford that mortgage anymore, since you are divorced now. So maybe that's how you sell the house. Maybe that's how you get rid of both the mortgage and the home equity line of credit. Both. Boo, boo, boo. 225 balance. Home loan. What is that? 722. Oh, no. 220K balance home loan. Got you. 722 for the truck. You could sell the truck as well and buy a cheap car. So mortgage, sell the house, clear up the home equity and the mortgage, get rid of those, rent, and you sell the truck and buy a cheap car. 18 months left. 9,800 balance. I guess you could, again, if you want to save the truck, I guess you could do that, but you got to cut everything else to the bone, my friend. Income 100K. Traditional IRA. Okay. Doesn't really affect you as of right now. After bills, groceries, I have about $1,800 a month. Okay. And that's including the mortgage. I mean, should I pay extra on the home equity loan or just contribute to IRA, open a Roth IRA as well? No, you do not do that. If you're familiar with the baby steps, you would see if you have debt, non-mortgage debt, which a HELOC, technically a mortgage, like a second mortgage, I guess, but that actually goes on step 2 because you shouldn't have done that dumb crap in the first place. There could have been another way to fix the finances for your divorce. So, but that's the dealio on that. Now, are you having $1,800 a month extra? Doesn't say what is the payment. The payment's $1,350. So on 110, actually that might be doable. So how about you keep the house and you sell the truck? And buy a cheap vehicle. I mean, or you can even keep the truck. That's going to keep you in debt longer. Oh, was a 20-year. Oh, term. That's the HELOC. That's the HELOC for the 20-year term. Don't know what the house is. If the house is a 30-year mortgage, then that might be too much. And so you should look at that and take a look at selling the truck. The more stuff you sell to fix it, the better. And no, until you fix the debt, there's no, at least on the truck, there's no, and the HELOC, there's no investing. Yeah. He did it wrong. Bob Phyllis Vance. All right. That's an office reference there. Building a non-anxious life. Aslan said, now that he is divorced, just get a second job and pay off the truck and then one home loan at a time. He's not in really bad shape financially, so that should work. Yeah, it should, but I feel like for me that there's other stuff going on that he didn't mention. I don't know, just a feeling I have for me. I mean, $1,800 a month after the mortgage is paid and the truck payment is paid. That seems to be fine, but yeah, we just got to buckle down on it and get all of that bye. The truck first, and then the HELOC, and then you start investing, and you do 4, 5, and 6, and then that's when you would be putting extra toward the house. Building a non-anxious life. That was a Dr. John Deloney book. Hi all. I've just finished reading Dr. John's book, Building a Non-Anxious Life. His steps seem simple and achievable. Okay. Has anyone read and implemented his steps? Has it made a difference? I have not. I do pretty well at not being anxious. I try to be logical, and by logical, I mean like I don't worry about things that I can't do anything about. I control things that I can control. So, like, I don't worry about inflation going up. I can't do anything about that. Inflation goes up, it's going to go up. But I can choose how much to spend, what I buy at the grocery store. See, that's how you can take control of your life. And that way, you don't have to be concerned what happens. You just react to what happens. Because you can't change it. If I had the ability to change inflation, I certainly would. I would have the Fed overreacting into the positive way to keep that inflation rate down. But they don't want to do that. And I can't do that, and I realize I can't do that, so worrying about it does not do you any good. It's better to focus all that energy in working around the reality. You do the best you can with the reality of any situation. Paid off my mortgage today. I'm excited. Just wanted to brag on myself. That's all. Great. Congratulations. Always good to hear stuff like that. Especially if it was early. Early mortgage payoff. Don't happen all that often, apparently. Nearby Country 1561, advice on what to do next. Another one was like this. Titled similarly, we're late bloomers, 48 and 45. I think that means late to come to the Ramsey advice. That does happen. I listened to him in my 20s every night when I was fixing arcade games. While I was driving around to different arcades, fixing arcade games. I listened to him every night. Did I do any of his advice? Nope. But have been trying really hard to catch up and hopefully get ahead. Okay, here's where we stand at the moment. A household income of $340K. All right, that's a lot. Depend if you live in California, not so much. House worth around 1.2 million. Again, California, that takes that down to probably an 800 or 700, 800 or below. Anywhere else in the United States. Oh, 590 on the house. Okay. 40K emergency fund, and we have a combined 800K in our retirement savings. All right. So that generates 80,000 a year. Let's see. 550K total in two 529 accounts on kids in elementary school. Is this a what to do on step 7 thing? No, not on step 7 yet. Oh, still on the house still. What to do on step 6, maybe. The answer would be step 6. No credit card debt, no car debt, fabulous, no other debt in general, right? But we will need a new car soon. What moves should be made next for you to save up the amount of cash that you want to spend on a car? You might not be, how much is left on the house? 590 on the house. So you might not be a millionaire yet. You guys might not be millionaires. So if you're not a millionaire, there's no new car buying per Mr. Ramsey. So you would save up on what you want to buy the car for, and that would be in cashish, cash on the barrelhead. The house is on a 10-year arm, not advised by Mr. Ramsey, at 2.5% with 5 years left on the arm. Should we concentrate on paying down the mortgage? If you think you're gonna have to get a new car, does it say new cars? Because if one spouse gets a new one, definitely the other spouse has to get one, right? That's a law. Now, we will need a new car. So one new car, so you have to have that in cash. Does it say any other, doesn't say about anything about other savings other than the emergency fund. 529s, elementary school. So that's probably going well. The amount that they're putting in there. Yeah. So if there's no other debt, then yeah, they're doing 4, 5, and 6 now. So yeah, you would save up cash for the car, and after you buy the car, then you would put everything extra on the mortgage. You can split it now between, it depends on when you say we'll need a new car soon. Is that just because you had a thought that, I mean, that can go either way. You never know on questions like this. That can be that they just had a thought, like the guy that thinks of new jobs all the time. They just had a thought about, oh, this car is X number of year old, so automatically we have to replace it coming up here soon. Or is it actually having problems and you know it's going to go out, that kind of thing. And your mechanic has told you, that kind of thing. So how, a lot of people talk themselves into spending money by doing things like that. But you're doing fine. You just have to decide about that car if you actually need. And again, it would not be a brand new car because you're not millionaires yet because of your 590K owed on the house. I think, unless, let's see, 800. Oh, 800 and 600. Oh, okay. No, they're millionaires. My bad. So you are millionaires, so you can buy a new house, a new car, but that does have to be paid for completely in cash. Sorry, I missed about that. They actually are millionaires. Don't want to disrespect you. So yeah, you save up the cash for the car. And then after that, then you concentrate on paying down the mortgage. And yes, I would say you probably do want to pay it off within 5 years, if at all possible. So that way your interest rate does not go up. And how you can affect that is you buy maybe a cheaper car than you think you need right now. because every little bit does make a difference. But a lot can happen in 5 years, especially with that income, and so and no debt. So I think you can probably do it. Their net worth about 1.5 million, so new car is okay, but it would stay with a 3-year-old car. Agreed, Aslan. I eventually got there. Let's see, when was that? 3 minutes ago. You got there. Yeah, you got there about 2 minutes before I did, or you immediately were there because you did the math in your head correctly, and I did not. And actually, what was I not? I wasn't including. I don't think I was including the retirement savings. I wasn't including the retirement savings in their net worth. So that was my bad. That's again why a co-host would be excellent. It would be perfection, as Chandler says about gum in another Friends reference. All right, let's see. I'll be able to save 2K to 2.5K a month for the next 3 to 4 years. What would be the best route to take? You would not be saving extra money if you have debt. Basically, you follow the baby steps in any situation. 26 years old, hoping to hit 100,000 at least at 8:30. It's not a race. It's not a race to do that. You can set goals, but it won't be the end of the world if you don't do that. 2 to 2.5K a month should do it. Okay, but should I stick it in an index fund or something? The problem is if you would need that money for something. If you're not going to need that money for anything, then why not do it in retirement? Yeah, plan is to max Roth IRA and go from there. Don't have access to 401k, maybe in about 6 to 12 months I might have one with a match. Okay, and so your retirement would, if you don't need it. Now again, if you have debt and you don't have separate from these savings a full emergency fund, then you would be doing step 3 first. Or if you have step 2, obviously you would be doing step 2 and 3 then. In order, I've been helping my parents build a 2,600 square feet home, and the total cost almost finished, including 20K for 3 acres of land, will total 150 to 160K. Does that mean you've been helping them financially to do that? If I save at my current rate for 3 to 4 years, I could push it 8, especially if I start the process. There, I'm getting lost here. Let's see. Start the process. And continue saving while building, and build a 100 to 1,500 square foot house and less acres. I mean, there's 2 houses here. I may be able to get it done for 100K, especially if I use their well and whatnot. Oh, I see, on the same land. Okay, so we're talking about 2 houses here. Are you helping them financially? I guess that doesn't affect the saving rate, so apparently. My question is, would it be best to leave that 100K or so, probably more, in retirement and just save it and build a house and have no mortgage? Well, you got to pay to build the house. Seeing how rent prices are skyrocketing, no mortgage and a brand new home that appreciates seems like a better option. I'm able to save a lot because I'm currently living with them, of course, which they are completely fine with. Also work with Dad. I only make about 40K a year, and after taxes, I may pick up a part-time job too, which may push my savings higher. So if you do not have any debt, you would have a full emergency fund for yourself, and then you would be investing only 15% of your income, so 15% of that 40K. And then if there's any money left, then you can save that to pay for building a house on your parents' land, which Probably not going to be recommended either by Mr. Ramsey unless you're buying that much of the land as well from them. So you got a lot of stuff going on here as usual for people. People always love to do a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. But again, assuming if there's debt, you can scratch all of this until there's no debt. But assuming there's no debt and you have a full emergency fund, then yeah, you would invest 15%, and that's all you invest. Everything else, if you want a house, is saved up to pay for the house building. But anything can happen. 26. Whoops. Did that open a new one? That did open a new window. I think it did. Sold a business this year. Oh, 37K tax. This from Affectionate Win 7341. Owing $37,000 in taxes is not a win of any kind, affectionate or no. Wife and I owned a family business. What we created, ran it for over a decade and had some great times with cash flow and building up a reputable brand. Sold it this year when the time was right as an asset sale on one asset and a ton of goodwill. This allowed us to refocus our time back on the family and each other. I knew it was going to be a kick in the gut. Yep. I understand. I mean, something you built, and now you're giving it up, regardless of the taxes you owe on it. But after filling my tax forms, we're going to owe over 37K back to the federal government. Okay, so the problem with building up a business and then selling it for more money, that is income. And so when you got that money, you should have saved X amount of percent to be able to pay the taxes for it. You did not know taxes on that would exist. Over the years, I've used the business for write-offs and spelled right incorrectly, write-offs and tax advantage, and received money when I needed it. I'm thankful now to be in the position I am and to be able to afford my due tax. Great that you have it. Maybe you didn't spend all the money from that. So maybe you've had all that money maybe even could be saved or in some kind of investment that they can easily take out. And so that's fine. So what's the problem? I'm thankful now to be in a position I am and to be able to afford to do tax. Unfortunately, being paid for goodwill is still taxed when the business starts with zero. And this was a service business, so no rollover shelter options like real estate. Okay. Sounds a little bit like whining to me. We did goodwill. We did goodwill. Oh, but we still made money. When you make money, you have to pay taxes on it. Sorry about that. You can try a country that doesn't tax income or gains. You could try that, but otherwise, I don't know what the reason for the post is, except to complain. To think that you should be an exception to profits and having to pay taxes on those is kind of nutty. If I didn't spend any disposable income for the next 4 months, I have £4 saved. Will it be worth it in the end? 4K. Oh, 4K. Maybe they hit the wrong thing there, or just forgot to say 4,000 bloody quid. If I didn't spend any disposable income for the next month, I will have 4,000 saved. Will it be worth it in the end? You would apply that money to whatever baby step you're on. So it wouldn't just be, I'm going to save this, unless you're in baby step 7. That would be, I'm going to save this. Or if you were lower step, but you needed to, my favorite example, buy tires for a sinking fund, you could do a sinking fund for it. And by, I don't know that you need $4,000 worth of tires. That's, if you got 4 tires, that's $1,000 per hire. That's a little pricey per tire. That's a little pricey. But you can do that, and in that case, you have the money to buy something that you need to buy anyway. So I'm not really understanding the question. I mean, just to have savings for savings' sake, not so much if you have other baby steps to do. Like if you have debt, you would not be saving anything beyond $1,000. All other money would be going to pay off the debt. If you were in step 3, you would be putting it towards, that would still be saving, that would be putting it towards your full emergency fund, and that is definitely worth it in the end. All of these steps are worth it. And if, say, you are doing 4, 5, and 6, you're already investing, you would apply it to kid college if applicable, and then anything extra out of that savings you would be put into the house. I mean, or if you're on step 4 or higher, you can even save it for a vacation and do a sinking fund for that as well. And probably vacation will be worth it. I don't know. Depends on where you go, what you do. So not really understanding the question there. There's probably, let's see, 13 comments. Let's do it. Let's do it. See if there's more information. Seeing if there's any OP here. No comments by the original poster, so we don't get closure on that one. But it feels like, for me, there's more to them. As I said earlier about the other one. Aslan out. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's 7 p.m. Eastern time. My goodness, I guess I won't go on to the next one. See, I do this and I have no idea. I have no concept of time, like Marty in Back to the Future. Have you no concept of time? Again, Coach Steve Money. YouTube.com/Coach Steve Money is where you're watching this. Just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist, and the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. So that's my financial content on the YouTube. And if if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free 100% free consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney. You can email me about financial questions or anything else that's on my YouTube channel. Anything else on your mind, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively to CashApp, $Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, yet still, Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, this one, the Ramsey Show After Show. And that starts at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, the same time that the Ramsey Show broadcast on YouTube ends that day. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and thank you so much if you've done that already. Much, much appreciated. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.